Hello everyone, I'm Steve Fontaine, and this is my true dating story. My brother and I were in our early 20s with our girlfriends on a dirt road driving to a graveyard on a Friday night. This particular graveyard was notorious for numerous ghost sightings, and we wanted to see for ourselves what all the buzz was about. The four of us pull up to the graveyard and begin hesitantly walking through it. The graveyard was creepy enough during the day, and that night, with just the right conditions of mist and moonlight dimly illuminating the premises, it had all the makings for a horror movie. We get to the other edge of the graveyard when we spotted our target, Devil's Tomb. We hang around a few minutes and stare at its wicked structured features that give it its name. I knock on the gravestone twice in an exact rhythmic pattern, disturbing the dead as I did so. We waited there, like we were waiting for something to happen, and then we heard whispering coming from all directions around the tomb. I immediately yell, "Run!" And then it was all of us in a mad dash to the car. I never ran so hard. I was terrified. We all were. We get inside my brother's car, lock the doors, and take off. We were breathing heavy, shaking, and I finally speak up and say, "That was awesome!" My brother was like, "Hell yeah!" Everybody started talking at once, wondering what had just happened and validating each other's experiences that night. We all admitted that whatever happened that night in the graveyard had actually happened. Later on that night, at about 3 in the morning, as my girlfriend and I were laying in bed, we both heard a familiar, rhythmic sound coming from our bathroom toilet. Our toilet was back flushing over and over again in the same rhythm as the one that I had made when I knocked on Devil's Tomb earlier that night. The toilet continued to do the same thing over and over again. It wouldn't stop. Finally, I worked up the courage to walk to the bathroom, knowing there would be an evil spirit waiting for me. I turned on the light. The noise immediately stopped. I nearly jumped out of my skin when my girlfriend came up behind me to put a hand on my shoulder. What just happened? Seconds later, my phone goes off. It's my brother. We talked for a minute, and then my girlfriend would later tell me that I turned a shade of pale as I hung up the phone. Apparently, he had also been paid a visit that night from something beyond the grave that decided to knock loudly on his bedroom wall repeatedly. Whatever was at the graveyard that night followed us home and gave us the scare of our lives. I haven't been to a graveyard since.